Shadow, get yourself together. We have Detective Steele on the line. She insisted on speaking with you. Now look, Detective Steele, she's intense. Just be careful, okay? I am going to patch her through right now.
Hello, Shadow. I caught your show tonight, Shadow. The whole thing was rather unsettling. I have a few questions for you. Was hoping you would wait for me. I'd like to talk in person.
Wait?
Yes, Shadow?
Wait for what? You to drag me downtown and interrogate me for some prank call?
A prank call that brought you to tears, Shadow? A prank caller that seemed to know rather intimate details of your past. Details that you'd prefer to keep buried.
Look, I don't know what you think you heard.
I heard a child, Shadow, and then I heard a man break. You don't strike me as a man who is easily broken.
Detective, with all due respect, I'm a radio host. I deal with strange calls all the time. I'm tired. And frankly, I'm not in the mood for 20 questions.
Tiredness doesn't explain your distant behavior, Shadow. And as far as 20 questions, I only have a few. Questions that might prevent this strange call from becoming something far more serious.
Shadow, just talk to her. Please. I mean, obviously something's not right here.
Fine. Come down. But I'm telling you, you're wasting your time.
On the contrary, Shadow, I believe the day is just beginning. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Don't leave without me.
Silus, are you sure you can't find another repeat? No, anything. We can't just play dead air until Shadow decides to grace us with his presence.
Now, Margarita. Give the man some credit. Shadow's never missed a night. There must be a perfectly good explanation.
Reasonable? For Shadow. The man talks with ghosts for a living.
Next caller isn't just a call-in talk show. It's an experience. It's a fever dream broadcast straight into your mind. A descent into the unknown where the only certainty is that you will question everything you hear.
Next caller, Margarita here. You're on the air.
Bonsoir, Margarita. It is Camille. It is so nice to finally be through to you.
Bonsoir, Camille. What would you like to talk about tonight?
Oh, not about anything specific, Sherry, Margarita. I simply need to speak with Shadow. His voice, it understands things. He understands the shadows, no? And such a strong, capable woman like you, I am sure you understand him too.
Shadow, he's unavailable tonight. Is there something perhaps I could help with?
Indisponible. But the show, it is his show, no? Is he ill indisposed in a way that a charming femme française could remedy?
He's taking a break. Look, Mademoiselle Camille, Shadow is out. This is not a dating service. If you have a story or a question, I am perfectly capable of answering it.
Oh, I am sure you are, Margarita. You are a powerful woman, but it is shadow.
I understand it is important to you, Camille, but our lines are very busy tonight. Perhaps try calling back another night when Shadow is available.
But that is a problem, Margarita. The lines are always busy. It is so difficult to get through. I have been trying for nights. But I am persistent, you see. Like a tick. I will not let go.
Well, I encourage you to keep trying. We appreciate your commitment to the show.
Oh, I will, Margarita. I promise. I look forward to talking with you, and especially with Shadow. After all, the French will love the number 3, trois. It is a magic number, no? A team, you, me, and Shari Shadow.
Tonight, prepare for a descent into the bizarre. Tonight, if you're brave enough, settle in for Next Caller, the dark and twisted midnight show that dares to broadcast the strangest and most unsettling calls lurking deep within the archives. This isn't your average late-night listening experience. Tonight's episode features a hand-picked selection of listener stories, curated from the depths of madness by none other than our beloved host, the enigmatic Shadow Sterling. Consider yourself warned. What you're about to hear may disturb you.
Welcome back to Next Caller, the only show brave enough to ask the questions you're too afraid to whisper in the dark. Silus, anything sterling in the abyss tonight?
Only the usual collection of soul-seeking answers they're better off not knowing, Shadow. But this next one piques my interest.
Let's indulge him then. Patch him through. Next Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, is this Next Caller?
You found us. What troubles your sleep, Caller?
It's about a video game. Several.
A digital delusion, eh? Tell us more.
Okay, so I'm a pretty big gamer. Always have been. And a few months ago I was playing this indie RPG game called... Well, it doesn't really matter. It's not on any major platforms. I only picked it up because it was pretty cheap and fun until this happened.
This happened? Be specific, Caller.
Yeah, so I was in-game wandering. And I remember not knowing where to go for the next thing to do. And I was frustrated. And then I heard this voice. A voice that wasn't in the soundtrack, but a real voice.
A voice from the machine? The devil is in the details, they say.
Yeah, I hear this voice right. It was all whispered and raspy, like it was coming from right next to my ear. And it told me to head south, toward this ruined temple. I thought it was somehow part of the game.
And you obeyed?
I did. I didn't know what else to do. And then, when I followed the voice's direction, I found this character. A cloaked figure, no face visible. He was just standing there.
A digital specter. How quaint.
At first she just followed me around. Silent and creepy, yeah. But I figured it was just a weird glitch. But then things started getting worse.
Elaborate.
So I finished the game, right? Moved on to something else. A new RPG. Then I see the same figure in a new game. Different art style. And completely different setting. But it was him. Same cloak, same presence.
An interlooper, crossing the streams of your reality.
Exactly, and it kept happening in every game I played. RTS, FPS, indie games, big AAA games. It didn't make a difference. At first I was freaked out, which I am. Then he started talking.
The figure spoke?
Not in the game, but to me. Like the first time. That rasping voice that was always beside my ear whispering.
Persuasion from the ether.
It keeps telling me to go back to the first game, the RPG. It says if I don't, I'll regret it, that there will be consequences.
Consequences? What kind of consequences?
It doesn't say, just bad things will happen if I don't return to the first game.
A clever threat, leaving the details to the imagination, far more effective than any blunt declaration.
It's driving me insane. I can't play a single game without seeing him, without hearing that voice.
Have you tried deleting the original game?
Yes, I've uninstalled it and deleted the save files, everything, but it doesn't matter. He still shows up in every other game.
A persistent little demon, isn't he?
Have you considered this might be a psychological issue, caller?
I've been, but I'm telling you, everyone I show this to online tells me how weird it is, and that it started with a voice. I wasn't crazy before, but this might be driving me there.
Perhaps this figure is not simply in the game, but using the game to reach you. A bridge in between both worlds, if you will.
I've considered that too. That's why I'm calling you to begin with.
It seems you have two choices, caller. You can ignore the figure's demands and face the unknown consequences, or you can return to the game and see what this entity wants.
But what if it's a trap?
Isn't life itself a trap? Dear caller, the only question is, what kind of trap are you willing to walk into?
It's your decision, caller. We have no easy answers here. Only the echo of your questions amplified in the darkness.
I don't know what to do.
Then perhaps the choice has already been made. Sometimes the universe nudges us in directions we resist for reasons we cannot comprehend.
Go back to the game, caller. See what awaits. What's the worst that could happen?
Thank you for your call. Until next time, remember that the darkest secrets are often hidden in the brightest code.
Curious what consequences this young soul will be facing.
Consequences are part of every decision. We can only wait and see what becomes of the next caller.
This portion of tonight's show is pre-recorded from the archives of some of the most intriguing past call-ins to Next Caller. This is one of Shadow's favorite calls with the legendary Robert Johnson. Sit back and enjoy.
Welcome, my insomniac friends, love-turned dreamers, and debased to another evening of Next Caller. I am your host, Shadow Sterling, and this is your home for all things mysterious, unearthly, and unexplained. Margarita, our lovely Russian producer, please introduce our next caller.
Thank you, Shadow. Tonight we have a very special guest, all the way from the other side. His name is Robert Johnson, the legendary blues musician. Robert, welcome to the next caller.
Howdy, Shadow. Been looking forward to talking with you.
Robert, the pleasure is all mine. I've been a fan of your music for a long time. In fact, I'd say I'm something of a blues aficionado. I understand you have quite the story to tell. Care to share it with our audience?
Afraid I can't rightly say nothing about what happened down at that crossroads, Shadow. And I'd be much obliged if your partner Silus didn't join in this here talking. Ain't looking for no trouble. I ain't.
The crossroads? The crossroads, you say? Now that's a subject that's near and dear to my heart. As a fellow lover of the blues, I can't help but be curious, but I understand your reluctance to share. After all, some things are better left unsaid. Tell me, Robert, have you ever heard of the 27 Club?
How'd you know about that? Sure enough, I done heard of it. We all hang around together, you know. It's a strange thing, being a part of that crew, but it's a bond that can't never be broke. Even wilder, Shadow, is that I was the first in something besides a brand new style of playing the blues, man.
All roads lead to the crossroads in life sometimes. Some just arrive sooner.
Indeed, Silus, that's a wise observation. Robert, I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. I know this must have been difficult for you, but I have one final question. Why did you choose to call us, of all people?
Done spent my last nickel in that phone booth, Shadow. Didn't have nowhere else to turn to. And I done heard tell that you got a way of understanding things that most folks just don't. Figure maybe you could help me make some sense of it all.
Man, I'm sorry, Robert. I wish I could, but sometimes the mysteries of life are just that. Mysteries. All I can offer you is the understanding and my support. And of course, a platform to share your story. I hope that in some small way, it brings you some peace. And so, my nocturnal friends and family, we come to the end of another episode of Next Caller. I want to thank Robert Johnson for joining us tonight and sharing his story. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Until next time, this is Shadow Sterling, signing off.
All right, settle down, you beautiful degenerates. Welcome back to The Void. It's 6:02 a.m. I'm Rusty Bumper, and you're listening to the only radio show brave enough to tell you the truth about your pathetic little commute, or, well, attempts to commute. I'm your only voice whispering sanity in the abyss, and I've got your traffic update right here. Hey, spoiler alert, it's hell. And now out at the airport, listen, if you're trying to catch a flight this morning, consider taking up teleportation. All roads leading to the airport are experiencing a level of congestion previously only theorized in Stephen Hawking's nightmares. My sources tell me some people have already abandoned their cars to hitchhike, and honestly, I'm not judging. Interstate, yeah, I-95 southbound headed to the beach, forget it. We're talking bumper to bumper, elbows to, never mind, bumper to bumper action. Seems like some genius in a minivan thought merging was optional, and now we got a parking lot. I'm Rusty Bumper, and this report was brought to you by Last Rest Coffins. We're not just selling boxes, we're selling peace of mind. Because let's face it, you're probably already halfway there. Last Rest Coffins, where your journey ends, but our service begins.
Goodbye.
Hey, what in God's name's going on here? I walk in this morning and I see Silus fumbling with dinosaur technology. I hear repeat content from last week. Where's Sterling?
Mr. Harding, good morning. Shadow had a personal matter to attend to, but we're managing, aren't we, Silus?
Managing? You hear that? You know what that is? That's the ratings for this station circling the drain. Do you know how many complaints I've gotten about repeat content and no shadow?
We are very, very sorry, Mr. Harding, but we will make sure that your company will get the revenue that you're looking for. What do you say we talk about this over dinner? Some drinks, a little bit of dancing. How does that sound?
All right, let's not forget, I'm married. Let me just put that out there. You know, this station is on the verge of collapse. That's why I'm here. Do you realize that we're thinking of making some big changes around here? You know, a new platform. No more late night calls, no more goofy stories, none of that shit. No, we're thinking of a big platform change. We're thinking maybe something that'll bring in a lot of listeners and a lot of revenue. Me personally, I'm thinking mega churches. Yeah, you know why? Because they buy up the advertising spaces. Yeah, all that empty space floating around out there that we're not getting, that we're not making money off of. Yeah, mega churches, they buy. Not midnight calls. Who the hell wants to advertise for that shit?
But Mr. Harding, Next Caller is an institution.
An institution. Yeah, an institution on the verge of extinction. And while this ship is sinking, Shadow's out there gallivanting somewhere, right? I don't see him. Do you see him? Where's he at? Call Shadow. Call him now. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where he's at.
He's not answering.
And another thing, do you realize how many FCC reports and fines I've gotten over the last 30 to 60 days? It's unbelievable. Oh, nice for you to show up tonight there, Shadow.
Hey, good morning, Dick.
That's Richard to you, fucker.
Oh, boss man, that FCC fine's on you. I'm sure that's not permitted what you just said in so many perspectives and aspects of the FM. Oh, Silus, I knew it was going to be a day when I got here and somebody was in my parking place. So what are we talking about tonight? Oh, my family. My family. I miss being with you sometimes. There's that ethereal pain sound. Margarita, Silus. I got this. Next caller, you're on the air.
Shadow, it's me again.
Welcome back. I'm listening.
I need you to harm, Shadow. I'm calling to help you.
Help me with what exactly?
With remembering and understanding who you truly are.
Who I am is a blind radio host who listens to strangers pour out their hearts in the middle of the night.
That's who you are now, but that's not who you were, who you were meant to be.
What do you know about my past? Can you explain that to me? Why am I remembering things?
Next caller cliffhanger looms as mysteries deepen. The suspense is building after another thrilling episode of Next Caller. Detective Iris Steele is closing in on the enigmatic Shadow, inching closer to uncovering his past. But is she walking into a trap? Meanwhile, authorities are closing in on someone, but their target's identity remains a mystery. Is it Shadow? Margarita? Caller? Or is there a more sinister puppet master at play? The future of Next Caller itself is also uncertain. Mr. Harding's decision hangs in the balance, with whispers of cancellation or even a station sale growing louder. Episode 3 promises shocking revelations and unexpected twists. Don't miss it. Tune in to the next episode to see how the dangerous game of truth unfolds.